Hey intentional living person, welcome to my channel. My name is Leah Chindu. If you've been here for a minute, welcome back to this family, and if you've just joined us, welcome to this family where we have decided to live intentionally, to make use of what we have so that we can get the most out of it. So today, on this particular day, I am going, or rather we are going to talk about the trauma that happens after university. Once you are done with your studies, you went through high school, you've gone through varsity, and then now you are in that period of the aftermath. Yeah, so what happens, the trauma that comes from it. So I have grouped the traumas into 5. The first one that I'm going to share with you is physical. So like when you're done with your university, right, first and foremost, you're from writing your final year exams, they stressed you, your diet or wasn't as good, right, and you've lost weight and you're going back home now. So when you go back home, you just want to eat, and you want to eat a lot and a lot of food. So what happens is that you tend to put on a little bit of weight. For others, for some of us, we put on weight. So there's weight gain that happens. That's the physical experience that you will get, because you just want to binge on the movies that you missed. So you just want to sit, you want to eat. That's what happens initially. Then as time goes on, you apply for job opportunities, and let's say a job is not coming your way, depression tends to kick in, because you have expectation that once you're done, you graduate, you're expecting that boom 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 you will have your job. Then that job doesn't come about, and what happens to many of us is that we tend to get depressed, and through that depression, it's either you will overeat, or you will stress eat, or your diet will not be as good. You will reduce on the amount of food that you eat. So there are others who lose weight and others who gain weight. So that's what happens on a physical experience. You have those bodily changes, and many other times that a number of us are not so pleased with our bodies because of the changes that have happened. And when you look back to the pictures that you took when you were in university, you're like, oh, I used to look this way, but now I don't think I like the way I'm looking because of the current situation that you're in. So that's on the physical aspect. The next aspect is the social aspect. So like when you part ways with your friends, you live in different places. So what tends to happen after university is that, of course, yes, you will chat here and there. Immediately when you're done, you will talk with your friend. Hi, how are you doing? How's life? How's everything? But as time goes on, the communication lessens. You will not oftenly text your friend. You will not oftenly call them. It lessens like that. Not to say that they've stopped being your friends. I believe that at that particular moment, like, each one is figuring out life, like everything is happening at once. We are all figuring out, like, what's next, what are we going to be doing. So I should be saying everyone is lifing, so to say. So the social aspect tends to also affect your mental health, because you feel like, okay, I'm not having that close knit of friends with me as I used to have in university. So that can tend to affect a number of us. Yeah, so that's on the social aspect of things. Then the next aspect is your financial aspect, the finances. How like in university your parents would send you some money, and a good amount of money. And not only that, like if you are on bursary, you have like your bursary is helping you out, you are good to go, you know, you've got money to spend here and there. Then when you are done with your with school, with varsity, what happens is that you don't have as much money as you used to have, and that can be depressing, to be honest, because you really don't want to ask money from your parents, right, or from your guardians. But the fact that you're in that situation where, to lack of better terms, you are broke, you are literally broke, right, and you are asking money from your parents, and I don't know about you, it can be hard sometimes to just ask money from your parents or your guardians, right, because you want to fend for yourself, you want to have money for yourself, and then that's when the pressure of unemployment kicks in, you know, and then you start feeling the trauma of after leaving university in that particular aspect, and it can be quite detrimental. Yeah, there are others who get involved in entrepreneurship opportunities, or you get involved in businesses, side hustles, right? They work out for some, and for others they don't work out. You start tracing back to your university days, wishing that you had started that business, or that you had entertained even the idea of entrepreneurship. At least you would have had the start and you would have had your experience, but now you don't even have money to start that business that you would like to start. So it's a lot, it's a lot. So that's on the financial aspects, and the next aspect is the spiritual aspect. In this particular period, when you are done with your university, I believe it's a time when your relationship with God is put or placed under like a trust, you know, there are trust issues that you start having with God when it comes to this period, because you start asking questions, you know, you start having that mindset of why isn't it happening for me. And worse off, when you look at social media platforms and you see your friends that had either completed school or varsity before you are doing so well, they have found jobs and all that, your relationship with God is placed under jeopardy. I'm not gonna say like it depends like on what level of like how strong your relationship is with God. I could say like for others, yes, it really depends on how strong your relationship is with God. But so long you are a human being, there will be those moments when you tend to question things, right? And this particular period or this particular season, it's that's what happens exactly, and it happens to many of us. So not to say that when it happens it's like that's it, you're just not a good person or anything like that. I believe it's important for us to ask questions, right? And who better to ask than God? Who better to go to than in the presence of God? So in as much as your relationship at that particular point, like you have trust issues, the only person whom you can go to who will truly help you with how you feel about things is to go back to the source. Go back to the source. So your spiritual aspect or your spiritual life in that way is placed under jeopardy, right? So then the next aspect is your mental health. In everything from social to your finances, to your physical aspect, to your spiritual aspect, your mental health is largely affected. You know, from the way you think about yourself, the way you think about life, you tend to ask a lot of questions, and those questions during the season they're very much unanswered, you know, and you tend to wonder if you even chose the right career path. You also, there's a lot that goes on with your mental health. You get stressed, you get depressed, and you have questions from your relatives, from your parents, asking you like, okay, what's going on, what's happening, right? And sometimes the pressure can be so hard that you feel as if you're not trying, you feel as if you're not doing your best, and you feel less than, because of the pressure that's coming. That can also tend to affect your mental health. Needless to say, I feel like this particular period in time, even though it comes with these particular traumas, your physical, your mental, your social, your finances, your spiritual, in as much as it comes with these traumas, it's also important to note that it's like a gap year that you have when you're done with your high school. That when you're waiting to go into university and all. So you have another gap year when you're done with university. Maximize on it. That's what I would say. Firstly, I would say you're not alone. So many of us are going through what you are going through, but I am in that predicament at the moment, and I must say it's not easy. It's not. And the point is that I have elaborated to you what I have been through as well, and what I am going through. So you are not alone. So many of us are going through that. We're going through the traumas. I would say what has helped me is finding a rhythm. Remember, like in university, you had a rhythm. You would go for classes, you would have your books to study. At some point, you'd go and see your friends, you'd hang out, you'd chill, and all that. Find that rhythm where you are currently, right? If it means finding a rhythm, let's say with the chores that you do, once in a while you call your friends, you've got books at home, read those books. Like, find a rhythm that will work effectively for you. At what time do you wake up? Maybe then you used to wake up at 5, but now you're like, no, I'm home so I can wake up at 6. It's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's the season that you're in. Or maybe you wake up at 9. It's okay. The important thing is that you find your rhythm. Find your rhythm that works for you, and that will help you to navigate your mental space. It's also a time to like sit down with yourself, and have a lot of chats with yourself. For example, I'll tell you what I do. At the moment, I take so much pleasure in walks. I love taking walks. They are a time for me to think, a time for me to have to myself, a time that I have with God. If they're good times, such that I am enjoying walks now. Yeah, so that's my rhythm at the moment, and I incorporate other things as well that I do during the day. You are not less than just because you do not have a job. You are not less than because there's so much pressure that's coming from you. You're not less than because you're seeing your friends or your colleagues who completed school before you and are working, are doing fine. It doesn't make you less than. It's to say that you are in this particular season, and every other person goes through seasons, and this season is yours. Maximize on it. Let's make use of this particular season that we're in, so that we can reap good fruits as time goes by. Yes. So from me, it's goodbye, and I hope you've enjoyed this session. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Invite your friend, your friend's friends, your mama, your papa. Invite everybody to come and tune into this particular channel. Thank you so much. Until next time, from me, it's goodbye.